Hey guys, good morning. I'm going to do a cool braid with you guys today on my mannequin here. If anyone as you come in has ideas of what braid you want to see, I'm totally up to hear them. Otherwise, I will pick a fun braid that we can learn together on my mannequin. If you have any ideas of a braid that you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'm thinking a French braid might be fun. Teach you guys a little bit about how to do a French braid. You could do your own hair in a French braid as you're getting ready this morning. If you have another braid you want to see, I'll give you a minute or two to throw it in the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to get started with how to do a French braid on our lovely mannequin here. I'll do a few different angles for you so that you can kind of see how to start it from the front angle. I'll move it so that you can see the back and the sides as we get to it. If there's any other braids, like I said, that you want to see, write them in the comments below. I will do any braid that you want to see, but I'm thinking a French braid might be fun today. So... all right, well, if no one has anything that they want to see, I will get started with a French braid, and you guys can learn how to do it, braid along with me, whatever you want to do. I'm going to start by getting a middle part going in my gal's hair here. My gal, it's always harder parting a mannequin than a person. I love practicing on people because of that, but that's okay. I don't always have someone at my house, so I'm happy to practice on a mannequin. Okay, so once I sort of line it up with the hi from South Africa. Oh my God, wow, how cool. Yeah, if you guys want to drop where you're from in the comments, that's sort of fun. I line up my middle part with the nose of my client, so that's sort of how I make sure I have that middle part going good. Then once you get to the back, you might be like, oh no, I don't really know how to continue it down. So you're going to start with, you're going to sort of feel, on a real client, you can sort of feel where this like middle bone in their head is right here. So I like to put my one finger there. Iowa, how cool. Oh my God. Yeah, list more of where you guys are from. So I put my one finger down there. I take the top of my comb and I bring it down to sort of meet my finger. I can tell this one went, oh, not too bad. This one went a little bit crooked. I'm going to take it and face me just for a like final, let's get it straight here. But definitely parting is something that you can practice a few times, do it a few times. It's not something that's going to be perfect right away. The day I cut my hair that was on my blend to shoulder length, you guys are live doing a tutorial. Oh no! You can do some of these braids on short hair still, like this one. You could definitely do like a fun little French braid at the front of your head. So if you want, just sort of try out the same type of pattern, just with a little bit less hair. I'm going to show you a whole French braid, like going all the way down, but like I just said, you can really start this anywhere. You could do a little one going into a ponytail. You could do one sort of like across the face, like a headband braid. So lots of ways to wear this, even if you don't have super long hair. My mannequin's hair is not even like crazy long. It's a little bit long, but it's really not crazy long. All right, so to start, again, we're doing the French braid. This is one that, a lot of people confuse with the Dutch. If you're used to doing the Dutch, are you going to do a Dutch braid as well or just French? Do you guys want to see one Dutch, one French? I'm totally up to do whatever you guys want to do. Apparently my dog also wants to go out, so 1 second. All right, if you guys are up for it and you want to see one Dutch and one French, I'm totally happy to do a Dutch on the other side. And then I can sort of show you the difference. That'll be fun. Okay. So to start, you'll take a little triangle piece near the face. You can do it small, you can do it bigger. The larger you do it, the further back your braid is going to start and the less long it's going to last. So the smaller size sections you do, the longer your braid's going to last. So for all of our braiders that like go out and do braid appointments, we teach them braid really, really small, use small sections, everything like that. That's going to help the braid last longer. However, if you're at home, you're trying this for fun, you really just want to get something in your hair, you can totally start with a section, this big and have your braids start back here a little bit more because that's easier for you. So it's not that it's wrong, it just will not last you near as long, but if you don't mind that, then that's totally cool. I'm going to start with an average size section so that you guys can see what I'm doing really well. And I'll break it into 3. Again, this is the French braid. So for the French braid, instead of, for the Dutch right now, we would take everything under. Everything would be going under. But since it's a French, everything is going over. So we're always going over the middle. So I have my 3 sections. I'm going to bring one side over the middle. That's my new middle. The next side over the middle. That's my new middle. And now this next time, it's my first time that I'm going to be picking up. So they've all gone over once. And I'm going to pick up with this one, and then I'm going to bring it over the middle. I'm going to pick up again, and I'm going to bring it over the middle. I'm going to be right back because my dog is back again. Imagine this was a real client, and I just popped its head to hold it for a minute. All right. Back at it. Okay, so we got our sections here. Yeah, I am going to do a Dutch braid on the other side too to show you guys how to do that. So again, every time we get to one of the sides, we're picking up some hair and we're going over the middle. Like I said, you can do this anywhere on the hair. So like, let's say you get to this point, right? Okay. You're at this point. It's a nice amount of hair away from her face, and maybe your arms are tired. Maybe you're like, I'm not going to be able to continue going all the way back this way. So then what I would do is I would keep picking up a couple more times on this inside piece here. Honestly, the one could probably be enough. And then I would turn this into a 3-strand braid. So if I wanted to do this as a half up, I could stop right here. And should I practice on myself first or other people? Really, you can do either for this, especially, you know, if you're practicing, if you tell someone you're practicing, a lot of people are happy to have you practice on them. I personally think that if you have someone with decent hair, practicing on a person can be easier. It can be a lot more like real life. I learned myself to braid on me. I thought that was a little easier. The only thing is then like sort of things are like backwards, like you're used to doing them one way on yourself and you have to like flop them to do it on someone else. But it is a really good way to learn. You always have your own hair at home. Mannequins are also nice if you want to be able to sort of like see and follow along with what you're doing. So I'm going to keep going down for this one. And again, I'm just taking a chunk. I am bringing it over what my middle section was, and I'm just doing that from side to side. I also, before I started, you'll see I put the additional hair that I'm not using in a ponytail. That helps me make sure that I'm not like over grabbing the sections of hair and making a mess for myself later. Again, like I told you guys before, you can do these sections like as big or as small as you sort of want. The bigger they are, the less long that they will last. Sometimes they look really pretty with big sections, but it's just not a braid that's going to last super long. But if you're wearing it to work or school or out for the night, maybe you don't care just to do it for a couple hours and have it be a little bit looser there. All right, once I get done with this side here, I'm going to show you, I guess actually I'll save pancaking for last, because if I'm going to do Dutch on the other side, then you guys will be able to learn all about pancaking from that. Honestly, let's do this. This is sort of cute. And okay, I'm going to do this so that it ends in pigtails. I have these cute little pink elastics, so that's sort of fun. Okay, so this is a French. You see how like the braid is almost sitting underneath? So this next one, tips on doing French on yourself, because I can do it on someone else. Okay, on yourself, a lot of people when they're doing a French get confused and it turns out as a Dutch. So I really, like when you're doing it on yourself, really make sure that every piece you're going under with. I would start, I'm like a middle part type of person, but if you're not, this is a fun one to do. I mean, as a middle part, you could probably do it into 2, but this is a really easy one to learn if you're doing it small. I think all braids are easier to learn like really small and then start to do all the hair like this. Like I actually think this is harder because you start to hold a lot of hair in your hands. So if you can start it with something like a side part and you're doing it as like a headband over to the side, that's going to be probably one of the easiest ways to start to like understand this one. Or like I said, like if I was doing the middle, maybe just this amount of hair and like braid it over and then like sort of clip it or whatever. I think the more that you can practice it in like small chunks on yourself, then the better you're going to be at doing it in a bigger chunk like this. So that would be my biggest tip on doing it on yourself. P.S. If you want to learn these braids and a ton other braids, we have a live boot camp that I actually teach. I give feedback on. I tell you how you can, do that braid better, why I think it's coming out a certain way, everything you can adjust, and I really help you like level up your braid game. So if you're interested in learning more about how to braid, you can go to our website, braidbabes.com/braidbabesu. And that will show you everything about bootcamp. There's also a webinar that you can come to. It's free. We're going to show you a live braid on the webinar. And if you have any questions about bootcamp before you sign up, you can ask that at the webinar. Just learn more about bootcamp at the webinar. Totally whatever you want to do. Hi, Katie. Or Kate. Kate. Hi, Kate. All right. So on this side, we did a French into a ponytail. I was really excited to do the French, and then someone else wanted to see a Dutch. So on this side, we're going to do a Dutch. I'm going to walk you through the difference. You'll be able to then see the difference, and then I'm going to pancake on both sides, and I can show you the difference of like pancaking a French versus a Dutch. And if you've never heard of pancaking before, pancaking is making the braid really, really big, really boho, a lot of fun. And it's still tight in the middle. So this is another reason why I say small sections. So when you use smaller sections, doing something like pancaking is a lot easier because you're not seeing your braid sort of fall apart. So you can do a braid with small sections, like I said, especially if it's on yourself at home, you're just having fun with it. You don't mind if it lasts a day, but some of these techniques you will see are easier the smaller the sections you take. I'm doing really good this morning, Kate. How are you? Okay, so what I do actually, I'm going to show you this so that you guys can like really see what I'm talking about. Okay, so see how like right here was where my section started for this first side? I'm going to line up that side there and do like a little part line coming down, and then I'm going to have the same exact amount of hair on the other side. That's how I always start. Although these are different braids, most of the time our client would probably be asking for the same braid, so we like them to match as much as possible. Okay, so you're gonna split this into 3. I'm good, getting ready to braid my college colors into my hair. Oh my god, how fun, you're braiding too! I love that. Okay, so again, you're starting with your 3 sections. This is going to be a Dutch braid. So instead of bringing the sections over the middle, like we just did for the French, we are going to bring them under the middle. So first section under the middle, next section under the middle. I'm going to bring that one under the middle. Okay, we've all gone under the middle there. So now we're grabbing our next piece of hair, and we're making sure to go under. And yes, when I do these back to back, I sometimes get confused. So if you just did the French along with me, it's okay if you feel a little stressed out starting the Dutch. It's okay if you need to start over. It's definitely something that happens when you're doing both of these. Something else I like to point out that I'm doing as you start to learn these braids is some people when they start to braid will start to almost line up their braid with the center part line. You don't want it to go up and back. You more so want it to go you want it to lay really in the middle of where the ear is and where the center part is. So really center of that area is where your braid should lay. It's just gonna flatter the most people with their hair shapes or with their head shapes and things like that. It also has the hair sort of coming into the right position with the braid so that it's really comfortable to wear. Do you go to Georgia to braid people's hair or not? So currently we're doing this really cool thing at Braid Babes. So we are currently based in Buffalo, New York, Nashville, Tennessee, and Scottsdale, Arizona. It's been a long time that we've been wanting to launch in other places, and we've been really hung up on it. So we just started this new thing called Braid Babes Beta. So with the beta program, you can join our boot camp, which I was just talking about. You learn to braid in boot camp. It's 15 days long. It's all virtual, but there's a ton of like, you get live instructor feedback from me. You get like paragraphs, photos, videos, explanations of what you could do to improve your braid, to level it up, to get it looking like how the pictures look if yours aren't coming out that way. And then at the end, you can get Braid Babes certified. So if you do all the braids, you pass them, you took the feedback. If you need to try any again, you are then Braid Babes certified. So if you're Braid Babes certified, you can then actually register for something we have called Braid Babes Beta. We have a webinar once a month about it. So if it sounds cool to you and you still have questions, you can come to the webinar, hear all about the beta program, and you can start to braid in your city. So what that is like you'll be listed on our site, everything like that. You get your supplies with us. There's tons of support that we're giving you to do it, but this way we can spread Braid Babes further. We can get more people braiding in their cities. We have so many people that want braids in their city and that like want to do this, that we're like, we need to figure out a program to make it happen. So Beta is the new program to do that. So if you're interested in bringing Braid Babes to your city, that's sort of how you do it. Bootcamp is the first thing there. So if you have questions about bootcamp, throw them in the chat. Go ahead and check out, like I said before, braidbabes.com/braidbabesyou. That has all the information about bootcamp, how bootcamp works, and that free webinar if you want to come learn a braid with us and learn a little bit more about bootcamp. I'm moving to Georgia from South Africa, so I would love to try it. How much is boot camp? Very cool. Boot camp is $275. We do some sales, so watch out for that. Boot camp comes with all the supplies you need. It comes with a mannequin so that like you don't have to figure out people to practice on. Like I said, it comes with the live feedback. And sometimes we do some deals, so definitely watch out for those. If you're really interested and the price is a little much for you, feel free to either email us at heybabe@braidbabes.com or come to our webinar. The webinar will probably have some secret deals there on bootcamp. I don't want to give away too much with that, but if you're interested and the price point's a little high for you, totally let us know. Back to the Dutch braid. If you guys have questions, again, feel free to throw them in the chats. I'm sure other people are learning from them too. So we're just going to keep moving on here with picking up one section and bringing it under our middle. So everything is going like this. I'm gonna like, here you go. Get you guys nice and close to my gal. Okay, so I'm picking up my section, and when I pick it up, I'm not immediately like moving. I'm straightening this out so that I don't have lumps, that kind of thing. And then I'm going to my other side. I'm picking up my section. I'm bringing it to where it sort of belongs. Here's the section that needs to move. That was my middle. Boom, I'm moving it over. Is the webinar free or not? Yes, the webinar is free. The webinar is so that any questions you guys have, you can get them answered. You can learn more about it, everything like that. The webinar is totally free. And just like this, we'll be teaching some sort of a braid on there. We were going to pick the braid, but then we thought it might be fun to sort of let people vote on the braid. So if there's something you really want to see, keep it in mind and let us know, because we might just pick what you'd like to see. Okay, so then as we're getting close to the bottom here, I'm going to keep doing my thing, keep picking up, going under the middle. And then once I get pretty close, I'm going to tie it off just like we did the last one. No need to go in front of the camera because we see you in the mirror. Oh my God, that's funny. Okay, so here we go. Here's my girl. All right, this is the French braid. So the funny part is what you see right here for the French braid is actually sitting underneath. So like this braid, how it's like sticking up, it's actually like if you feel inside here with your fingers, like in one of these holes, this part of the braid is sitting like this. And then same thing here, the inside of this braid actually looks like a lot like this. So if you could like put your head right through here and look into her scalp, you would see the opposite on each side. So it's really fun because they're like virtually the same thing, except one is going under and the other one's going over. So they're really cool. Now for pancaking, because pancaking these sides is slightly going to be different. I'm going to show you first pancaking with the Dutch. This will be just like how you would pancake like even a 3-strand braid. So if you just like, if this was too much for you and you couldn't learn the Dutch and the French this quickly, you could do this with just, if you do a 3-strand braid down your hair, you can still use the same exact tip. So this will be really cool for you guys to learn. Hi guys. Okay, this is Design Me's Puff Me, one of our favorite braiding tools. This stuff is fun. See it puff out. Okay, so we put that all over the braid. Then there's also this Puff Me texture spray. My mannequin has blonde hair, obviously, so you can see when you use that Puff Me stuff on dark hair like mine, sometimes it gets a little bit of like, almost like a dry shampoo-y, like it just looks a little light in that area because it's white. This stuff works wonders going over it. It gets it like a little bit wet that it dries again and it's not like white showing. So it's not as necessary that I do it on her hair, but it's part of my routine, so I'm going to keep doing it. Okay, if you guys have questions about braiding or boot camp or how to braid in your city or any of that, feel free to just drop it in the comments below. I'm going to show you all about pancaking. If you have pancaking questions, feel free to ask those too. Okay, so when you start to pancake, especially, you can pancake as you braid, but that's like next level for a lot of you. A lot of you are just learning the braids, so we're going to pancake last. So with the pancaking, you want to start at the bottom and you want to just pull at the edges a little bit, and you want to focus on really just pulling at the edge. Don't like go into the middle and pull this whole section. You're going to the very edge and just pulling some of the hair out. And so then you're going to keep going up just one side at a time. So here we go. I pulled the left side a bunch. Now I'm going to go and like pull at the right side a little bit. I'm going to go again, the left side here. And you can always reach in for more hair. So let's say, I'm going to try and mess one of these up. Okay, this one, not super messed up, but if you guys can see, like sort of that hole there, there's like a little hole showing. So what I can do is then like reach in a little bit more and like just sort of pull at the hair right there. Again, this is not something that we want to do from the center. If you do it from the center, it's really going to start to have your braid falling apart. I use pretty, not large sections, but like at least medium-sized sections. Normally I would use a lot smaller sections if I was doing this on someone to wear for a while. But the section sizing, like I was saying before, really helps the core of your braid stay tight, and so does not pancaking that area. So the more you can pancake like just the edges, the longer that this braid is going to last your person. I'm going to try and do it from this angle for you guys, and then I'll edit anything that needs to be fixed after. And it really is like just little pieces at a time. You don't gotta go in and do anything wild. And you're almost like pulling it up, like a C motion. So for me, I'm like sort of pulling it down because I'm doing it backwards, but you're sort of wanting it to go like a C, that you're wanting to like over exaggerate the hair out to get that like volume on the edges there. And you might see, I don't know if you guys are noticing it. Is it necessary for the spray? You can do it without the spray. The spray is another like locking mechanism that sort of helps the hair stick together and things like that. If you have someone with really silky, shiny, just washed hair, you might find pancaking to be harder without the spray. It will still work. It just, their hair might not like stay out like this very easy. It might start to like slip back into the braid a little bit. So you can do it without it. It's just, it could be a little more difficult. Your pancaking could not hold up as well, but it really depends on the person's hair. Someone with curlier hair, wavy hair, any texture to their hair normally, you're gonna have an easier time pancaking than someone with like pin straight silky hair. If they have pin straight silky hair, I'd say it is pretty necessary to have a product, but you can still do it. It just, your pancaking might not last you as long. They might not be able to have it like big all day. They might see it sort of like starts to almost fall a little bit. So I'm going to keep pulling at the edges. And you'll see, oh, that was what I was going to say. You might see some of these pieces down here start to like move a little as you pancake the top ones. That's why you can pancake like as you go, because then that wouldn't be happening. But there's some things that we can do if anything does get messed up as you're sort of doing this. Okay, so, all right, cool. So, this is looking pretty good, actually. We don't have a ton that we need to really, like, fix up. But, like, one thing that I will say is my pancaking, it does look pretty good, actually. My pancaking on her right now is, like, more flat, which is good. Some people, like, really like it to look like this. If you wanted it to look a little more messy, a little more boho, that looks so good. You wish you could braid? Oh my God, I bet you can braid. Braiding is really not, it's overwhelming when you first start to do it. But like in our boot camp, so how we start boot camp, sort of how boot camp works, I'll walk you through a little bit of that, is boot camp starts with buns. So we go over like 4 different bun types. Some people do struggle with the buns, but why I start them first is because we then learn a bunch of styles that incorporate buns. So maybe you started buns on day 1 and like you got 2 of them really good, but 2 of them came out horrible and you didn't really understand them. You'll be able to try those buns again on some of the styles that you have coming up. So I try to like lay boot camp out in a way that even if you weren't good at something one day, it like sort of can come back around at a time that maybe you understand it more now, or you've gotten the feedback now on what you did wrong the first time or what to avoid, and now you know what exactly to do when you go for it next time. A lot of times from grading people virtually for song, I've gotten really good at like writing really detailed descriptions of like the exact things to change to get your braid to look like this or like the photo. So that's really cool. We start off then after buns getting into French and Dutch, just like we did right here. Those are sort of like our more basic braids. And then from there, we start to use the Dutch and do braids that incorporate the Dutch braid. So you're then starting to learn more about the Dutch braid, really improve your Dutch braid, and learn different styles to do with the Dutch braid. So that's like sort of the next factor. Then from there, we start to do some more, they look complex braids, but I think they're actually like potentially easier than the French and the Dutch. We do some pull-through braids. Those are with elastics and things like that. So if your fingers are like really struggling with the holding the hair and keeping it tight, those braids are going to be where you're going to see yourself really succeed. So what I like about boot camp is if you're struggling with one thing, there's so many facets of boot camp that usually you can get really good at other things. And I really like to say that if you're someone that puts in the time, puts in the effort, and like reads the messages, reads the video chats, everything like that, and redoes your work after you've gotten feedback, you're going to see yourself really succeeding in the course. There's a lot of people that like started the course and they really weren't the best braiders, but they took the feedback, they took the help, the guidance, everything that they got, and they put it into trying the braid again. And if you're able and willing to sort of do that and keep practicing, it's definitely something that you can learn. Can you show how to do a messy bun or space buns? Oh, I'll do a messy bun on the bottom at the end if you guys want. Okay, I'm going to show you pancaking on the French side. This side is a little bit weirder because would you recommend having a training head for bootcamp? Bootcamp actually comes with all the supplies you need. So if you're interested in bootcamp, it comes with a mannequin head. It comes with like a bunch of these products like I've been showing you or saying it's like better to have them. Bootcamp comes with all those things. So if you're worried about like having the right things, everything like that, you'll get sent everything. I love practicing on the mannequin because you can practice anytime. I also do really encourage you during boot camp. You get unlimited access to me, feedback, everything like that. So if you have sisters, friends, family, neighbors, cousins, anyone that you can practice on, want to practice on, anyone with like hair that seems like it would be difficult to you, practice on them, because I can actually then give you feedback on doing that style on that hair type. So I love to get feedback like that. I encourage people to practice on others as much as they can. I know this is convenient. Like the reason that I'm not braiding on a person is because it's like 9 o'clock here and I don't have someone in my house right now currently to braid on. So that's why I'm doing a mannequin. But if you have people to practice on, or as you start to learn some of the styles, if you want to get like more tips on how to do it on different hair types, definitely practice it again on a family member and say, hey, this was on curly hair, I really struggled, here's what happened, can you help me? And I'm more than happy to help with that type of thing. So it's online. When is your boot camp? Yes, it is online. The next boot camp starts 1/1, so it starts January 1st. New year, new skill, learn to braid. The cool thing about braiding, I've been braiding since 7th grade. I started to braid in middle school. I braided from YouTube videos. I really just like learned from other people. I learned on myself, and then I found this really cool company, Braidbabes. I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. I love this. And so it's a way that you can like braid other people, get to know people in your community. We have a new beta program now for anyone that's like new to this live, where as soon as you go through boot camp, if you'd like to offer Braidbabe services in your area, you can. So you can then come to like our boot camp, or we have a boot camp webinar if you want to hear more about boot camp, and then we have a beta webinar if you want to hear more about beta. So our beta webinar is after boot camp, since it is something that anyone that does boot camp can do. So I see it's 15 days. Yes, it's 15 days, and the times are totally up to you. So what happens is you get into boot camp. There's a ton of information in there. We use Facebook for how boot camp works. It's super nice because I can individually chat with you guys, I can video chat with you guys, I can group chat with you guys, I can write things in the group. So it's super nice. It's on a whole Facebook group, super interactive, very community-like. You can learn from other people too. You can sort of like ask for tips, share tips on things that you've learned. And then every day there's like a schedule. So it's pretty much 1 braid a day. Some days there's 2 braids, and some days there's catch-up days. So some days there's like no braid. I recommend sticking to the schedule as much as possible. The days that I gave you 2 braids are typically easy braids, things that really go together or are like very easy to be done. They're quick braids for you. You've already learned the Dutch. You're trying 2 styles with the Dutch now, something like that. And the more you keep up with the schedule, you're going to see that you have the additional days to try a braid again or take a day off. So that's sort of how the schedule works, is there's a braid a day, and then you braid on your own time. So if you're the type that like wakes up 4 or 5 a.m. because you have kids, you get them ready, they're off to school, and then you want to braid, go ahead. If you're the type that you get home at 6 o'clock, you feed the kids, get them to bed, you want to start braiding in the evening, that totally works. If you want to braid in the middle of the day, you can really braid whenever. I am grading several times throughout the day, so based on when you submit, you'll get grade and feedback from me. If it's urgent, like if you're practicing and you're like, this is not coming out right, I really don't get it, I really recommend people to reach out to me on chat, because I will always have like my chats open and about. So if you're practicing and you really need help, you can always chat me at any point. But it really can be done on your own time. It is something that really can be done like sort of within that 15-day basis. We did at one point, we used to have it that it was like 7 days. So people have done this like even faster. 15 days ended up being a little bit longer for people to try the braids again, everything like that. So if you have any other questions on the schedule or how bootcamp works or the kind of skills you learn, anything like that, just drop it in the comments and I'll keep chatting about it. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you pancaking on this French. So just like the other side, you're going to be pulling at the very edges. With the French, you'll see your braid is sort of underneath, so you only have certain areas that you'll be able to grab at. You can pancake these pieces too. I'll show you what it looks like, but last, in case you guys don't like the look of it. It's more of a boho and like, I don't know. It's for some people, but some people would not like the look of it. Some people don't even always probably like the look of the French pancakes, but I think it's fun, especially for a style like into a pigtail like this. It can get a little weird if you braid it all the way down, because then it's like just sort of like thick down here. The French doesn't look as cute like that, but I will show you this now. Okay, so we're going to pull on our edge and we're going to pancake it out. And honestly, you guys will sort of see when I'm doing this, it almost starts to look like a Dutch braid the more that you start to pancake this one. So it is a lot of fun pancaking this one, I think. This one you'll see is like, it is affecting some of the other ones. I am having to like go down as I pancake. I know on the other side I was trying to like explain that to you guys. What's the difference between the French and the Dutch? I love the Dutch side. So the Dutch side, all of your sections are going under the middle, and on the French side, all of your sections are going over the middle. So on the Dutch, you'll see when they're done too, how they look. I think the French is really, I have something for the French. I know most people, the Dutch is their favorite, but there's something about the French to me. People don't do it as much, that something is like always interesting about the French to me. But the Dutch is really pretty. It's like a classic, you know? Okay, so you'll sort of see what I mean about these sections. Okay, so this French is, okay, here's my girl. Okay, the French is pancaked. You'll sort of see what I mean about pancaking these top sections, like right here. See, I sort of like pancake those. So we could keep going in here and I could like pull at these a little bit. It's just gonna give a little bit of a, I don't know, textured boho look to the braid. This would be really cute for like if we were doing like some sort of a bridal or date night romantic kind of look. So that's it with like all of it pancaked. You can probably tell this is like more of a romantic style of a braid. It could look sporty, but definitely more romantic style. And then the Dutch, there's the Dutch. So the Dutch versus the French. So you sort of see the French, the braid lies underneath. You see how you can really tell is like the French, see these sort of look like a V right here? Your two sections look like a V. Here they look like an arrow. So it's like an upside down V. So that's sort of how you can tell, like if you're looking at a braid, like I feel like these look, if you don't know a lot about braiding, I think when you look at these, they look sort of similar. Maybe you wouldn't be able to tell like what the difference is about them. But like when I'm looking at someone's braid and I'm like, it looks like something went wrong. Sometimes people go to do the French and it turns out as a Dutch, or they do the Dutch and it turns out as a French. So if I'm like, what happened here? I sort of start to look for either the V or the arrow so that I can tell, okay, what one did they, maybe they started as a Dutch and then halfway through sort of switched over to a French. I want to learn to braid my daughter's hair so bad. Yes, we have so many moms that go through boot camp and like practice on their kids and stuff like that. So if you're interested in learning to braid on your kiddos, I think boot camp's a lot of fun. It's 15 days, different braids. You can practice on your kid. It's a lot of fun for like bonding. It's like a really cute thing to do with them. And it's like a forever skill. What I think is cool is like my mom always used to braid my hair growing up. And then I wanted to know how to braid hair. It's always a good thing to know how to braid hair. There's always someone, soccer games or in school, something that you're doing, people want their hair braided. So it's always a cool skill to know. I think the French would look so nice for people with highlights. Yes, the French would look really pretty like that. This is the one funny thing I'll say from braiding is you can really tell if like some styles, you can really tell if the hairdresser maybe didn't know like what they were doing as much, or they had like a little mistake. Like I've totally parted people before and been like, oh yikes, well we're gonna pancake. How I pancaked these. This is really nice if there's ever like a little bit of a weird spot in their hair that you don't really want showing, if you can like sort of pancake over it with a previous section, things like that. So that's always fun. My oldest had the best hair for braids, but she is a wimp. My Mill has curly hair, but nothing hurts. Aw, I know some people are very tender-headed with how they sort of handle braids. We do teach a lot of ways to hopefully minimize. You don't really need to like hold it really tight to get a good braid. It's a matter of like keeping your fingers and your hands close to the head when you're braiding. A lot of times, if you keep them a little further apart, the only way to get that same effect is the pulling, which is why people sort of end up like pulling a little bit harder on the hair. But as long as your fingers are in there, and like pretty close to the head as you're braiding, it will naturally be close to the head. Yes, I am still going to do those messy buns for you guys. My mom used to turn the brush around and say, do you want me to hurt you? Oh my God. That's funny. Okay. Let's see. Someone requested messy buns, so we're going to do some messy buns. I also want to point out for messy buns, some people like, I don't know if it's like just common, like we think we need more bobby pins than we maybe do, but we don't always need a lot of like bobby pins to do a messy bun. So I'm going to show you. I'll show you two messy buns. Do go live certain days and times on here or for boot camp. On here, we've been going live just about every day. doing different braids. We haven't had set times. We've sort of been going live like randomly during the day. So I'm glad like as many of you guys have caught me so far. And then in boot camp, we do have more of a schedule of what we do. So I don't know what one you were asking about there. Oh my gosh, I started to do the messy bun without even telling you guys what I was up to. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna take my ponytail. I'm splitting it into 2 sections. This is my favorite way to do a messy bun. I think that this is just so easy and it leaves the person's hair in good shape. Like, I don't know if you guys were like, when I was first learning to do messy buns, I basically took the elastic and just kept like scrunching my hair through it in different ways, which just is like disgusting for your hair. At the end, it comes out all weird. This actually has your hair coming out like really cute when you take the bun out and sort of wavy. So I really like this way of doing the messy bun. Okay, we split it into 2 sections and then we start to twist them together. So here we go. We're twisting our sections together. We don't want to twist too much to the bottom. We want to leave some space because we're going to pancake these. You don't have to use an elastic here. I'm going to today just to make my life a little bit easier. That part is sort of up to you. Okay, so the cool part is that then you can like walk away from the whole thing if there's an elastic there. So cool. This is where you're at. And then I'm going to start and I'm going to pancake all of the edges of this twist. So again, I'm just pulling like little pieces. I'm not pulling this whole section. I'm just pulling pieces from the outside to make it big. And see how like, I don't know if you guys can tell, some hair sort of flew out. Let's see. Like right here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but like some random hair flew out. So not a big deal. This is okay. Like right here, it happened again. If there's pieces or like layers that come out of the braid, or the twist, that's totally okay. It's going to add to like the messy effect. So what I like to say is like before you start to pin this one into a bun, try to pancake like all of the edges. Try to get this looking big. Do everything you can. Because then, okay, so now we have it like this. This is our next step. So now the twist is sort of turning this way. So to go with the twist, I'm going to start to turn that way too. And I'm going to sort of go like that. Now look, I'm basically almost done. This bun is looking amazing now. So okay, it's a matter of I'm holding the bun in certain spots here. So I'm going to, where I'm holding the bun, I'm going to put a bobby pin. So I'm going to put one of where I just sort of like ended the whole thing, where I just sort of put the end of the braid. I also think pinning is easier on a human. And then the other one I was holding about here. So this is literally like in right now with 2 bobby pins. Like I don't have very many bobby pins in here right now. I'm going to do a few more bobby pins just to like make it a little bit more stable. I'm probably going to do one more after that. So cute. Yay, I'm glad you guys like it. Okay. Okay, so now this part is sort of up to you guys. You can leave it like this. This is cute. You can keep pulling at it. The more you pull at it, you might get some like little pieces sticking out. It's sort of up to you how much or how little of the messy look you want. The more you pull it at this point, the messier it'll get. And then the other thing I'll say is the more you pull it, the more you might want to pin it. It sort of depends on like, I guess the style you're going for and on how like loose or tight it is. Okay, I'm going to do one more on the other side here. If you guys have questions on the bun, drop it in the comments real quick. My dog, again, wants to go outside, so I'm going to let him outside quick. And if you have bun questions, let me know before I start the next bun. Okay, let's see. Do you want something? Mine would say, do you want something to cry about? Oh my God, how funny is that? Okay, cool. Do you guys want to see another messy bun? Do you want to see a different kind of bun? I mean, that was fun. We did the messy bun on this side. I could do another messy bun. We have something called a mini bun, which we usually do it on top of the head. It sort of looks like Minnie Mouse ears, but it is really cute to do down here too. What other bun types could we do? I don't think a bow would look that cute down there unless it was like a tiny bow. A fluffy bun is sort of like a donut shaped. I'll do, what is a mini bun? I'll show you guys the mini bun. That'll be fun. bun on the other side. That will be cool. You guys don't even know what it is. This will be fun. Okay. So you can learn, again, all of these like bun styles and stuff like that in our boot camp, and then you can actually start offering services in your city if this is something that you really enjoy. Oh my God, I'm doing it again. I'm just starting to do the braid without telling you guys. Okay, so we're doing a mini bun. So I know I have an elastic in there. I'm going to use another one just to get the mini bun shape going. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the elastic on, and I'm going to do one wraparound. So this is like my first wraparound that's about to happen, and I'm just going to do this. So see, we have this little, I just flopped that in there. So that's the start of my bun. So the next thing I'm going to do is find myself some bobby pins that I put in here. Okay, so I'm going to take a bobby pin and I'm going to sort of pin this side up to the top of the head there. And you can just leave all of this crazy hair just sitting around for a minute. Okay, and then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to pin it to the top of the head. Oh. Okay, so there's like our bun shape that we have going on. So then the next thing is going to be, we're going to grab this hair that we just sort of like left, and we are going to, I like to sort of twist it just like we did in the last one. And I'm not going to use an elastic with this one. But what I want to do is I want to sort of cover this area. So another thing you can do, depending on how short your person's hair is, like my girl's hair is sort of short. With my own hair, I do the twist and then I twist it all around. But this girl's hair is not probably going to go that far. So instead I'm going to split it into two. And I'm going to like do something like this. So I'm going to start to like twist them around the edges here of the bun. Boy, I'm going to be running out of bobby pins. Okay, so I'm going to twist these sections sort of around the edges of the bun, almost to like hide, almost to hide the, what's it called that I just did? The like pinning that I just did on the sides. So I'm just doing this with like little pieces at a time. Hopefully you guys can tell what I'm doing. This got a little complex when my girl had not a lot of hair to work with. Okay, so then I'm going to use this little piece and try to do like a twist to get like a look of it going. Because I want something fun in the middle here. I like the way the twist looks. My girl just doesn't have like long enough hair to get the twist to go all the way around the bun, which is fine. We can improvise. This is maybe a little harder to follow along with now, but okay, so then I'm going to do something like that to cover this elastic there. I can't wait for boot camp. Yay! I'm so excited. I always love all of the boot camps. It's always so cool to see everyone's skills come out of it. I will also say doing this mannequin, or doing this braid on a mannequin, or this bun on a mannequin, oh my god. Doing this bun on a mannequin can be like a little bit more difficult. Like my piece over here is come undone. So basically this one, you probably can't totally tell why it's called the mini bun at this point, but this usually creates sort of a little bit of a mini shape when it's like on top of the head. How is she looking? Will these hairstyles hold while swimming? Okay, so some hairstyles will hold better than others while swimming. So, great question. Okay, I would pick, for a braid to hold while swimming, I would pick the Dutch over the French. If you do them tight, they're going to last better. So either of those are going to be better. For swimming, You could do a bun. I'm not big on, I don't like getting buns wet very much. So I would probably opt to either do the braid all the way down, ponytail, pigtails, literally any of the above for swimming. I think when you get a bun wet, it's just, it's never gonna like dry and look as cute. Like part of making a good bun is like really being able to fluff it out and getting the bun shape going. And I think when you wear a bun in the water, it's just never gonna fluff back up the same way. So, I mean, you could wear it in the water if you really wanted to, but I wouldn't recommend the bun part in the water. If someone really wanted a bun and wanted to go swimming, I would say get something like the messy bun. It's easy enough to take out. Take it out when you go swimming and try to do a bun yourself after your hair dries from swimming. That would be sort of my suggestion. But yeah, so on this side, I sort of showed you a mini bun. You can sort of see how that one, I don't know. You can do this one messily. Like I sort of did end up doing it messily with like some pieces sticking out. And this side is just our regular twisty bun. I think this one is just normally like the basic messy bun. This one I just happened to do in a messy way. But yeah, there's your French braid and your Dutch braid pancaked. And like I said, I'll do one more spiel about boot camp for those of you guys that thought it was cool. If you have questions about it, drop it in the comments before I hop off here. And if you have other braids you want to see, we're going live the rest of this month. We're going live most days the rest of this month. What's the day and times of the boot camp? Great question. Boot camp is every day for 15 days from January 1st to January 15th. You get live grades, live feedback. You get tips and tricks. There's a whole community that you get to like braid alongside with. You can share things that you've learned already from each other. There's no set times of the boot camp. Everything is available to you to do at your own pace. So I have a schedule that I recommend you guys keep up with, but as far as if you braid at 9 a.m., 9 p.m., you can braid whenever you want. Is boot camp available internationally? Yes, it is. Go ahead and join if you're interested. If this has sounded really cool to you, but you're not up for it yet, like it sounds cool, you want more info, maybe I'm not giving you all the info, you want to see even more info, come to our boot camp webinar. It's totally free. You'll learn even more about boot camp. We'll have a whole like presentation with sort of like what boot camp looks like, more examples and stuff like that I can't quite show you on a live here. So you can join. I'll be on there. It'll be me. I'm Tori, and then Emily. We're the co-founders of Braid Babes. So if you have specific questions, you can ask us on there. We'll also be showing you some cool styles. We haven't quite decided on exactly what we're going to show you yet. We've also debated showing you like a complex style that you'll be able to use the skills that you learn in boot camp to do afterwards. That's the cool thing about boot camp is we're teaching you, we say 14 plus braid styles, and the reason is because so many of them can be used to create other braid styles. So once you sort of start to learn a lot of these braids, it's really easy to start to like add in, oh, we're gonna put this into this braid and this will look really cool and elaborate. So that's really cool too. Do we release a live video each day? So there's pre-recorded like learning videos that we release. So those we walk through like everything that there is to do about it. We also have a live video in the morning that talks to you about, you know, what braids are that day, top tips for them. We might show you a braid. I've also done like live videos for people that are struggling to understand a braid. So sort of boot camp, we do live videos a lot in boot camp, but like the daily videos all do have a video that you can watch on your own. You can stop it. You can replay it as many times as you want. And then the lives are sort of in addition to that. Oh, awesome, because I go to school 4 nights a week, so we can do it whenever it's convenient for us. Yes, exactly. So I've had some people, I don't recommend this. I do not personally recommend this. A lot of people that do it, it ends up working out for them. They end up probably knowing themselves better than I know them, and they are good braiders already, so they can do it. But I've had people that wait till like the last 4 days to do all of boot camp. It stresses me out personally, because I know that they want to finish, and I want them to finish, and I'm like, there's a lot of braids here, but a lot of times they do end up finishing. So, you know, you can absolutely do this whenever it's convenient for you. I recommend sticking to the schedule, but as long as you're, you know, getting through the braids, it's totally at your pace, on your time, when you're available to do it. And like I said, I grade and give feedback and I'm on there multiple times throughout the day. So it's not like, oh, if you braid at this time, you're missing grading. That's not really how it will work. I also try to keep track of how many, like, generally when the group is submitting. So if I see like, oh, I'm in a group right now that has a lot of people like either submitting bright and early or end of the day, those are probably the times I'm gonna start to be grading you guys as well. So I try not to do set times for that type of thing so that I can like better adjust to when everyone is turning things in. So that's sort of how that goes. After the 15 days, it's gone. You don't have it forever. That's not correct. So you do have it forever. However, the grading and the feedback and everything like that is 15 days long. So you'll be able to access, like I said, there are the videos that already exist telling you how to do all of these braids. There are the lives that I'll do. Those will stay in the group, but I will not continue to be grading past the 15-day point. We do have, let's say you take it, you got sort of stressed out, you got half the braids done, you want to do it again, you want the feedback. We do have an option where you can pay just $75 to go through it again. You already have the supplies, so you don't need to get the supplies, you don't need anything else, and you're just paying to retake the class and get more feedback. So that's also an option if this, you know, stresses you out with something like that. But the whole thing is, it will continue to be available. Just the live grading, live feedback, live like messaging. The instructor is what stops at the end of the 15 days so that you guys can sort of understand that. Any other bootcamp questions I can answer for you? And then like I mentioned before, if you do bootcamp, if you love it, if you want to braid in your area, that will be an option then too after completing bootcamp. If you want to braid in your area, it's a lot of fun. I started out braiding in my area when Braid Babes first started, and it's a really cool way to meet a lot of people. It's a really fun job. Like if you've done hair in any extent before, what I really love about it is you can, every day you're able to go see a new environment. You can stop at Starbucks in the middle of the day. Like every day is a little bit different. So I love that. And it's super fun. The shimmers in my hair, you'll be able to learn those and offer those to people too. So the shimmers are also a lot of fun. That's one of my favorites at this time of year. But I'm gonna hop off now. I'm so glad we got to go over the Dutch braid with pancaking, the French braid with pancaking, the twisty messy bun, and the mini. I'm gonna call this a mini messy bun because I did it in a messy way. So there we go. So I'm so glad you guys to learn all these fun styles. Maybe you'll incorporate some of them into your own hair today. That would be really cool. Try out one of these braids or buns that you learned. And if there's anything else that you want to see in the next couple days on our lives, just let us know. Send us a DM, and you can find us on Instagram at braidbabes. Talk to you guys later. Bye.